So, you're ready to estimate the size of a planned software development project or capture the actual size of an in-progress or completed project. The good news is, SLIM tools are incredibly flexible. You can model almost any lifecycle methodology and choose from a wide variety of sizing metrics and techniques. The bad news is, with so many components and sizing methods to choose from, how do you select the right one for your project? Welcome back to Software Size Matters, why quantifying software size is critical for project estimating, tracking and forecasting, and performance benchmarking. A video series that explores how you not only can, but should be using software size measures at every stage of software project, program, and portfolio management. Hi, my name is Laura Zuber, Training and Support Manager for Quantitative Software Management, QSM. This episode focuses on choosing a sizing method that fits the information you have on hand and your project's lifecycle stage. In previous videos, we discussed why quantifying software size is important and looking at familiar metrics you're probably using now. You can find the links to these videos in the description or in the playlist if you missed them. It turns out there are a variety of sizing methods to choose from. Asking a few simple questions up front can quickly point you in the right direction. What do you know right now? If it's early in the project, you have a general idea of what needs to be built, tested, and delivered, but the detailed requirements aren't available yet. There is little point in choosing a requirements-based sizing method like requirements, function points, or even user stories, because there's simply nothing to count yet. If, on the other hand, high-level or detailed requirements are complete, a requirements-based method makes perfect sense. The data on hand matches the data needed to perform this kind of size estimate. The prudent thing to do is choose a size method that's supported by the data you have. The biggest challenge to software estimation is uncertainty. You have to produce an estimate when you know very little about the scope. The amount of data you have is tied to the lifecycle stage of your project. As you progress through the lifecycle timeline, more and more information becomes available. During concept definition, little is known. Use a rough order of magnitude method, namely t-shirt sizing or sizing by analogy. We have a client who maintains a list of historical projects with t-shirt sizes. Managers look for projects similar to the one they need to estimate to determine the t-shirt size for the new project. During requirements and high-level design, single components such as requirements, features, user stories, or technical requirements are available. During construction and test, discrete testable parts of the system emerge. There are multiple components, perhaps like the RICEF objects often used to estimate commercial off-the-shelf packages, and technical measures like modules or source lines of code. During maintenance, you're dealing with problem reports, enhancement requests, patches, and source lines of code. Notice that when the project is complete, there are several options for collecting the actual software size for measuring productivity and other benchmark metrics. This list of common software size estimation techniques is ranked by the amount of data needed to use them, from least to most. Sizing by analogy and t-shirt sizing. Single component high level. This is where one function unit, like function points, is used to measure the entire system. Single component detailed enables you to capture complexity if you have enough information to identify small, medium, and large stories or similar function units. Multiple components are identifiable components or layers of the system that may be countable. And code counts. These are helpful for cloud migration and other project types. Let's look at a few examples. Relative percentage. Use this technique to generate an early estimate of the total system size relative to a single component you know or have already estimated the size of. For example, component A is 20,000 source lines of code and comprises 10% of the overall functionality. Component B is twice the size of component A, therefore 20%. And component C is roughly half the size of component A, equaling 5% of the system. This initial rough order of magnitude estimate can be refined as the design progresses. PERT, Program Evaluation and Review Technique, is commonly used to estimate project task effort, but can be applied to software size estimation. You provide a range of inputs by specifying the low, most likely, and high value for each component. Typically, the range is not symmetrical. That is, the difference between low and most likely and high and most likely are not the same. You calculate the average, giving the most weight to the most likely value. The formula can be adjusted to use different weights. Delphi. This method employs a diverse group of experts or team members in Agile development to produce more accurate estimates by including diverse perspectives and experiences. The games are played until there is a consensus among the team members. These methods can't be used until user stories have been defined and often use the Fibonacci sequence to assign story point values. In planning poker, each team member chooses a user story card, estimates the size, then all the cards are played and discussed. The name White Elephant comes from the group gift exchange game, also known as Yankee Swap. In place of gifts, the team has stories. Once a member has estimated the first user story, each team member has the option to assign a value to that next story, move a story already played to another level, or pass. To summarize, there is a variety of sizing metrics and techniques to choose from. Software size estimation is particularly challenging because you have to produce an estimate when you know very little about the scope. The amount of data you have is tied to the lifecycle stage of your project. Start with t-shirt sizing, then use more methods as you progress through the project lifecycle. Agile development has increased the awareness and use of software size measures once the product backlog takes shape. And you can reduce uncertainty by using PERT and Delphi methods. In this video, we talked about choosing a sizing method that fits the data you have. We will continue to explore the many important uses of software size and how to measure it in future videos. I hope you'll join me for the next video, Sizing Function Units. See you there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content.